Hey there, greetings dear Aquarius. This is Tarot Lumination with a mini playlist. I'm thinking of calling it like Through the Gateway. I'm referring to the Pisces new moon very recently and the ingress of Uranus into Taurus. My feeling is that it's a very important calendar moment for the whole year. I think of it as a gateway. So beyond which everything changes and behind which everything is being left behind. But it's very subtle. The perceptions are subtle and deep, and they're going to be changing over a long-term period of time. But there are first impressions, like when that first blink, that first awakening. So I'd like to invite you to imagine yourself having just won a prize, or you just got lucky and you got some free tickets you won off the radio or something, to some kind of big event thing, like or an exhibition, like going to a science space lab, you get a free ticket to go look through NASA, or you get to go to an observatory or a huge art gallery somewhere in a big new city where you've never been before, or a massive amusement park, or some global display about human evolution, something quite amazing and new that you would never normally do in everyday life. And there's somebody waiting at the door, and it happens to be Tarot Lumination with a bunch of brochures, like first impressions. And you walk through the door and you've got your little brochure with you, but of course the brochure is not the experience. It's just a little note like, hello, to your left is the space probe. Over here is the Earth from outer space. Over here is what's going to happen to the planet as Uranus goes through Taurus, the big shifts in climate, and all these things that they would have in like a big event brochure. But it's still you living through it. So you blink, you look around, and what's the first impression? So my first impression for you, Aquarius, is that it's an issue to do with values, self-worth, money, value and values. It's going to change, new starts and new beginnings here, and it's going to happen in the context of your home, your family, the foundation of your life. And there are going to be radical shifts. We've already talked about this in the March Astrodoodles, but I'm going into the feeling of it now. And that's why I'm using the tarot for this little mini unusual playlist. Big shifts. We're at the gateway moment here. This is you walking through the gateway to evolutionary journeys from which there is no return. If you want to, you can try to hold on. That just means evolutionary stagnation. So please see this as a chance for new adventure, new exciting things to learn and understand. Okay, Aquarius? I'm calling it Through the Gateway. Big questions. What now? What now? What now, Aquarius? Have a look around you. What now? The landscape is changing forever. Cards are already well shuffled in advance, but I go to the last second so that you are a witness. It's going to be short and sweet and simple, okay? I don't want to take up your day. I just want to leave you with this, like I'm the one who's handing you the little brochure, and I'm giving you a courtesy smile and a pointing in this direction or this direction. By the way, this is where I am right now, right here. Right here, if you can guess where this is. All right. Cards are shuffled. Gonna cut it all up. Bless this deck. Bless you guys out there, Aquarius. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising if you have to. You know the routine, okay? Here's the situation, first glance. Here's the situation, here's the challenges, and here's how we're gonna handle it, okay? And what's circumstantial environmental energies like around you right now in this situation. So you have the King of Swords energy here. My feeling is that it's like this is very significant for you, Aquarius, this gateway moment, in a kind of a very serious way in which you might not have predicted or ever have allowed for. And I think the Uranus and Taurus gateway moment, the new Pisces new moon, which is actually the opening of the door to all of this, is putting you in a position where you're realizing that you have, even as an Aquarian, you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to benefit here by exposing yourself to this journey, this new landscape, It's exciting for you. It's going to give you a chance to attain higher levels of mastery, wisdom, knowledge, depth, understanding in whatever capacity of life you can imagine, whatever your so-called career, your life path, your life mission, whatever. And almost, to me, it almost feels like learning how to live as if. So as you change, evolve, and grow, as your values change, as your value changes, as your talents and gifts become repurposed for new beginnings, that is going to affect the home, the foundations of your life that we talked about, Uranus and Taurus for you. Okay, so everything at the very foundations of your life is going to be shifting, new starts, new beginnings, and that can be very uncomfortable. But you can learn, you have a chance to learn so much through this time period, and it will, if you do this properly, you take advantage of it, you can get very, imagine you're like a little kid at the science museum, okay? It can be so exciting, like, oh my gosh, I always knew this, I always knew it could happen. And you see like these wonderful exhibits about the potentials of this, the potentials of that, the realities of this, the realities of life, the world, your life from outer space, from a much bigger, more nebulous, Neptunian, beautiful spiritual perspective. And yet you come right back down to earth with greater comprehension and understanding in the foundations of your life, which would actually, actually in some ways give you stronger, greater foundations, even though it might be learned in a very, let's say, destabilizing way. In other words, going through experiences that could be very destabilizing for you, which allows you to evolve and grow and adapt and blossom in ways that are actually very good for you. Okay, and then you learn accordingly to the point where you can ultimately become a teacher yourself in these things. What's the situation? Okay, so with the Nine of Cups here already, my feeling this is kind of, it's like, to me this feels unusual. It's almost like you're actually looking forward to this. It's almost like, and a lot of people really struggle with big galactic events like these, like this gateway moment, can be very disturbing. There are a lot of people who write into the channel about, very weird experiences that are happening in their lives that are very destabilizing, that they just can't understand. Whereas my feeling for you, Aquarius, it's quite different. You're actually kind of enjoying the changes and the shifts that are happening in such a way that it's a turn on for you, and almost like being in your own element. I mean, the Uranus and Taurus energy is actually technically very challenging for you. The Taurus-Aquarius relationship is pretty challenging. And the new moon and the Pisces energy is, whatever it's called, in conjunct. It's like one sign away, so it's difficult to understand. But my feeling is almost like being a young kid in a science lab, male or female, these days it doesn't matter. It's actually a turn on for you. And your happiness is at stake in such a way that you're almost getting a glimpse of how you can be a happier person in the foundations of your life, refining your value systems, learning more and more and more about how to improve your talents and gifts. Like if you're already well qualified at something, you're going to become better. It just might be a very challenging, kind of combustible, unpredictable journey, but it looks like it's very good for you. So I'm happy to see this. I feel obliged to mention that in a what's the word? In a contradictory perception, you might feel very threatened by this. Like your sense of happiness could feel highly destabilized. But I don't really see it that way. I actually see this as much more of an exciting thing than a scary thing, okay? Sometimes it's very easy to confuse excitement with fear, But just imagine being a kid and you're having this amazing experience open up to you. What's the challenge with this? Okay, with the Six of Cups here, my feeling is that, like all of us, like for all of us, I don't really want to refer to the full moon here. My feeling is that like you don't want to, it's like you're hoping that your new gateway moment that takes you into this new world unfolding in front of you, your own, this is like our Lumination new landscape, okay? But you have your own landscape too. And my feeling is that the challenges might be for you in that you, in a classic Aquarian way, you are going to evolve and grow and adapt, because it could be a turn, like I said, like a turn on and exciting for you. But the challenges are that this could be very unsettling for the loved ones, especially the ones who are closest to you, the people that you've inherited in your life, family, loved ones, spouses, children, pets, the ones who are very near and dear to you. In other words, like you're basically, let's mention the kid again, like, I have to do this, I want to do that, I know I have to do this, I know this is good for me, I'm going to go there, I'm going to do that, it's very scary and weird, and my life is going to change fundamentally from the foundation upwards. And your loved ones are there kind of going, oh gosh, Aquarius, are you sure you want to do this? It's going to really mess everything up. I mean, what about all the good stuff that we've got already? And then you're like, oh gosh, don't you understand? I'm an Aquarius. I'm always heading towards the new horizons, the new future. I'm so far ahead of it, and I have to stay ahead of myself now. Can't you see how awesome that is for me? And then they're looking back and going, oh no, this is Aquarius in the way that we don't want Aquarius to be, because it means that we have to change and shift and evolve now, and we don't really want to, because there are certain things that we like just the way they are. And sadly, that's a problem for everybody, every reading, because everyone is going to change because of this and because of this anyway. We're all going through a gateway. And as you go through your gateway, my feeling is what I just talked about here, that could be quite or even very unsettling for the loved ones, especially in the home environment. Okay? So how are we going to deal with this? You go for it anyway. Okay? You basically say, listen, I have the right to be me. I have the right to evolve in my own journey, in my own unique way, in the way that however it pans out for me here and for me here. Thank you very, very much. I'm not going to stop. In fact, I am so turned on by this opportunity, as scary as and weird as it might be for myself, and as disruptive and unsettling as it might be for you, my dear loved ones. I'm going for it anyway. I have to. This is my time. This is my moment. This is my obligation. This is my duty to myself. I have to do it, and I'm going to do it. So that's the answer. That's how you deal with the challenges. You basically, Aquarius, you rise to the occasion. You see the opportunity. You take full advantage of this. Sorry, you take full advantage of this, and you take full advantage of this. I'm not going to refer to the Venus in Aquarius right now, because I'm trying to see this as like a blink moment, but giving you a glimpse into a much bigger, longer term landscape type of reading. This is not for March. This is not for April. It's not for anything. This is just about the gateway moment and what now? What now as you blink and you open your eyes to the new landscape in front of you. This is your time, Aquarius. You have earned this and you deserve this. This is an opportunity, and it's important that you see it as that and grab it as that. So every time we evolve, grow, and adapt in order to blossom, it means typically having to let go of anything and everything that impedes us. It doesn't mean you have to do it in a harmful way to the self or to the other. It's a question of how do we do this gracefully so that you give yourself permission to live and evolve and grow and adapt and blossom, and thereby, like if Aquarius could do it, then you can do it. So you live by example. You live as a shining example of what it's like to seize the moment, grab the opportunities here, take full advantage of it, no matter how little you know about it, no matter how little you understand, and then you give yourself permission to evolve and grow. And when you give yourself permission to do that, you inspire others to do that as well. And it's like, and others, people look at you and kind of go, oh, well, I guess there's no going back. So if Aquarius is going to do it, then we might as well do it too. And then you just, everybody crosses their fingers. So it means having to surrender and let go of, I think, what would be like fossilized, obsolete values, outgrown relationship dynamics in the home, in the family, new ways of seeing yourself, Aquarius. That means letting go and surrendering, giving up things. If there are things that you are holding on to very, very tightly that equate to value and equate to stability in the home, those are the things that are going to be most destabilized by this and this. And holding on to that is simply going to impede you. So all I'm going to do is shuffle a little bit more and do a quick cut, and then I'm going to pull the top card, okay? And there will be a little tiny message there, and then we'll leave it at that, okay? And then I will let you get on your way, just like the tour guide who says, there you go, here's your brochure, sir, here's your brochure, ma'am, have a super time. Okay, so here is your card, Aquarius. Surrender, defensiveness. Okay, you can probably see it here. Defensiveness, Mercury retrograde. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Then offer a clear, non-defensive response. I think this is referring to the challenges that you may face in home and family at the foundations of your life. Like, as you shift, evolve, grow, adapt, and give yourself permission to blossom, that can be very destabilizing for others, okay? And if they come back in ways that are very challenging for you, or that make you feel you have to defend yourself, it's not going to help. Trying to defend yourself isn't going to help. What they're suggesting here is to communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out. Allow them to speak. Allow them to express their fears and live through their fears as you change and evolve, adapt, and grow. And then offer your perspective in return, so that basically you neutralize the challenges that you're going to inevitably face here with home and family and your new value systems as you would change and evolve and grow, because that's going to affect your loved ones, okay? So I just don't, I guess my heart is sort of like getting a little bit fluttery at the moment. I just don't want to see you hurt yourself by trying to hold on to things the way you think they should be or could be or would have been, if only. Okay, I'll just leave this up here so you can read it yourself again. Okay, I'll hold it very slowly, carefully right there. All right, and now you can reinterpret that to suit yourself, okay? Thank you so much, Aquarius. I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you get something out of this. Enjoy the trip. Enjoy your new journey through the gateway. You're through it now. Go forth. Enjoy. Bye-bye.